off and on for the last couple weeks. I am starting to feel a lot better. Been working on trying to keep my campaigns and adventures going. I've started a new homebrew campaign, and Lady Shell and I have been working on daylight savings time conversions and all kinds of good stuff.
All right, very good. Just realized that until Leroon started speaking, I didn't have the voices on, so none of what I said came through. But the only important part of my bullshit was that the disclaimer, which is anything we say on the show is not reflect on Smiteworks or Fantasy Grounds. So get it in your head, fuckers. All right, let's let's ask Furied Fate. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have my sandwich, my water, my what is this? Cherry Coke, and I totally just realized it was daylight savings. Whatever.
You're somehow here at the right time. So
Right? I'm so glad for that. Well, if it
yeah.
wasn't for my phone automatically doing that stuff, I would
Oh, right. Oh,
probably.
so what you're saying is you know what time it is. You just didn't realize that the change happened last night.
Yeah,
It
totally was
happened. Yeah.
unaware. Like
Yeah.
when I was asleep or something. I don't know.
Exactly. I have to reset my microwave and my stove, but everything else in the house is automatic. Lady Shell, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Now you just reminded me about resetting the microwave and stove. I need to do that too. Plus, I have an analog clock on the wall that I forgot I need to take down and add an hour to it. Yeah,
That's right.
that's so much fun. I hate daylight saving.
And before we talk to Robyn, let me just say to everybody my thing that I always say whenever this comes up, because it's my mission in life to be a grammar Nazi and also correct things like this. If you have a family member or a person, or you are a person themselves who uses an S in daylight saving time, in other words, if you say daylight savings time, you need to slap yourself or that person right in the face, because that's not correct. There's no S. All right. Having said that, Robyn's like, oh, fuck, well, I agreed to come on the show. Let's say hello to Robyn Nix, who also is known as Remedeez. She is a DM's Guild creator, and we're going to talk all about her tonight. Welcome, and how are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm doing great. I was laughing the whole time,
Good, I'm
trying
glad.
not to. Yeah.
Yeah, Robyn and I have been talking to each other on Discord and whatnot for probably a couple months. I'm not exactly sure how long it is.
Yeah.
But she came to my attention because she also does what I do, which is she makes her own things, and she also helps other authors with their PDFs to convert them to Fantasy Grounds. So she is yet again another DM's Guild creator, like we had last week Vex on, and then we had Grim on before, and there's a few other people that do it. But we're glad to have her on the show. And we would like to,
Thanks.
yeah, glad you're here, and like to show off a couple of your things that you've made. And yes, everybody, she will be giving away a couple things as prizes today too. So stay tuned for that. Also, as a reminder to those of you watching here at the beginning of the show, we will, as we will be doing every Sunday, after the show ends, we will stop the stream and we will start it up again and play some Jackbox TV games, and up to 10,000 people can play in the game. So all of you who are watching will be able to play if you'd like to do that. So Robyn, how did you get started? Tell us your story about how you found Fantasy Grounds and how you discovered the DM's Guild, and how you sort of got into it and ended up being like a creator and doing that. How did that all happen for you?
Sure, I'll try to abbreviate this.
You don't have to abbreviate. We got as much time as you want.
Okay. So I used to play MMOs and MOBA video games, and I used to do like podcasting and streaming for that stuff a very long time ago. And I had some friends who I played MMOs with, like my raid team and stuff. If you play MMOs, some of you might know what that is. They were like, "Hey, let's play Dungeons and Dragons." And it was crazy because my brothers taught me how to play D&D when I was really little. Like 8 years old was probably the first time I played. So I was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, I can totally do that." And I started Googling and found out that there's a 5th edition now. I used to play during 3.5, and like that was all I knew. And anyway, so long story short, because we knew each other through MMOs and like online gaming, I had to find out how we could play over the internet because we all lived in different states and even different countries. And we tried Roll20 and I hated it.
Yay! We like to hear that.
No offense to people who use it.
The views expressed on this show are not fucking whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we played one session in Roll20 and it was not enough for me. I have kind of a history in like IT and computer stuff. That's what I used to do when I was in the army. So I just needed something more. And I did some more Googling and found Fantasy Grounds and bought it and bought everything that I could get for it at the time for 5th edition. And yeah, I played with my MMO friends and we still play. We take breaks every now and then, and I have a home game that I run for my family and my kids, where we play like in person, but we still use Fantasy Grounds for that too. We have a TV
it's
that we
awesome
put
for
on our
that.
table.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love a lot of people, I mean, people know you can do that, but I don't think that it's as prevalent as it should be. But I love the whole using Fantasy Grounds to run an actual in-person game. I think it's fantastic.
Yes, I love it because I know like there's D&D Beyond now, but it's so easy for me to look up spells or look up NPCs or monsters in Fantasy Grounds. It's like second nature for me. So I don't bother with anything else. We put a TV on our table and we use it for the battle map. I use it for looking up, monster stats, spells, everything. It's
Right. So easy. So cool.
I love it.
Awesome.
And
So yeah, go ahead.
that's the gist of that. I'm sorry. That's all. Over the year, I started in Fantasy Grounds in 2016. So I used to be involved kind of like in the Fantasy Grounds Reddit, and I saw people were asking for like, hey, can somebody make this usable in Fantasy Grounds? And I used to do sort of requests through Reddit way back in like 2017 until I learned that some of those weren't exactly legal because
Hello.
it was people asking me to do things that they had purchased, not that they had made themselves.
Right.
So I stopped doing that when I learned that I probably shouldn't be doing that. And then fast forward to now, and now I just do it through Dungeon Masters Guild for people who own the content that is getting converted.
Yeah. There is a certain subset of people out there who do, for whatever reason, don't want to spend the money. They'd rather spend the time, and they type like the entire player's handbook into Fantasy Grounds or the Dungeon Master's Guide. You know what I mean? They just do it all manually, and that still is being done by people who are like, I'm not going to spend, whatever it is, $25. I'll spend 100 hours instead. It's like, okay, good luck. But yeah,
right, yeah, I've done it for a couple things that I've bought only because they didn't have a Fantasy Grounds version available. But only like to use for personal use.
Right. And a lot of people do that too. There's a lot of stuff that either isn't on Fantasy Grounds yet or will never be because the licenses aren't going to happen or things like that. And so that's what's really cool is if you're just using it for yourself, you can type anything, you can take any material, intellectual property or not, and put it in Fantasy Grounds. As long as you're not distributing it, then you're fine, so yeah.
Exactly.
And well, that's interesting to hear about Reddit because I'm not really a Reddit guy. I mean, I have a Reddit account and I've posted stuff on there last 10 years or so, but I don't really hang out there, and I'm not. There's something about the aesthetics of Reddit that disturb me. It's the same with GitHub. Like everybody keeps telling me to get on GitHub for stuff, and I'm like, I go to GitHub and I melt down because it's just a wall of text to me. And
that's fine. My husband uses GitHub like every day. He works in software development, so it's like his jam.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people's jam, right? So, but I can't do it. Nafar says he hates Reddit. Good for you, Nafar. But it is interesting, and this is a little aside, but when you said you were in the Army, you were IT specialist, right?
Yes, yeah, I was a nodal network systems operator maintainer.
See, they didn't have that. That wasn't even a job when I was in the Army. My job in the Army was, okay, sign here. Here, I'm going to give you this blanket. I need this back by Thursday. Like that was my job.
Signal was like a radio carrying radios and stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, radio operator was that job back when I was in the Army, which was before they had tanks. It was a long time ago. That's a little joke. All right, so how did you then specifically start doing things for other people on like I know, like for example, well, tell me one of these titles that you didn't make but that you just converted for somebody.
Well, most of them. So, like Archetypes of Everon, Face of the Forgotten Realms. There's several, like 3 adventures by Sven Truckenbrot, The Lamenting Lighthouse, Old Olga, and Young Yvonne. There's a lot.
Okay.
The first one I ever did was for Ashley May, sorry. And it was called I Had to Go Because, and it's like I hold a really dear spot in my heart because it was my first DM's Guild conversion that I did. And it was just I had just reached out to her. She had posted in the DM's Guild creators Discord asking, if somebody wanted to convert it for Fantasy Grounds. And I said, yes, I will. And she had been, I think, in talks with other people who kind of do the same. And she decided to go with me.
Yeah,
I'm not
I've
sure
talked to
why.
Ashley a couple times. She's not a fan.
Aw.
So good for you. She doesn't for some. There's actually I am not as beloved as people think I am by a certain subset of people, which is fine. And you can't please them all.
It
And
happens.
it doesn't bother me because when I was a stand-up comedian, I got the same thing. You get out there on stage and tell jokes, 100% of the audience is not going to like it. So
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
a certain
There's a lot
set
of people who don't like me too, so it's okay.
Good for you. Well, it makes me like you better if you say that. Um,
We do
but
have a
yeah.
question in the chat from Spencer77. Robyn, what product that you've converted do you use most?
Do I use the most? That would be cursed classes. I have some players who are. I have a campaign starting in 2 weeks, and I have some players who are going to be using it. So I'm really glad that I converted it because now we're in the kind of character creation portion before we start the campaign. I run campaigns that are like super roleplay heavy, so we usually take a lot of time like building our characters and making sure they all fit in the world and whatever. So we've been using curse classes and it's really awesome. You can play as like a lich, a lycanthrope,
Oh, cool.
yeah, a lot of cool things, but they're built as classes instead of races.
Right. That's cool.
I love that one.
I put a link, everybody, in the chat for her, for this page that we're looking at. So if you want to go look at it in your own browser, it's just her name that you would search for, and you get these 13 titles that she's done. So awesome. So yeah, your story about how you I basically started the same way. I did my own things, and then one day somebody said, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll give that a shot." And then now it's out of control. Now I'm like got 8 people working with me, and it's like insane.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, but
I think it's really cool.
It was nothing that was ever planned to be like that. It all just sort of developed on its own, and
yes,
it is now a monster that's out of control in a good way. I mean, it's
right.
nice to have something to do.
Yeah, and like I think the way you do it is really really like smart because you have more than just you doing it, whereas for me it's just me. So if somebody asks me to, hey, can you do this, sometimes I just can't because I can only do one at a time. Sometimes they take me several days to do, and it really sucks having to turn people down. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah, and I've had to do that too, and it's easier now that I have a team of people. Yeah, why isn't that link working? We'll have to look into that. It's easier when I have a lot of people that can help me because I had to turn until I started having people that wanted to do it with me. I did have to say to people, that's either going to take me a really long time or you're going to have to try to find somebody else because I just was so overwhelmed,
swamped. Yeah,
and then if Smiteworks comes to me and says, hey, do you want to convert this Wizards of the Coast thing, and I say yes, they go, okay, you have to drop everything you're doing and just do this. You have to promise that you're gonna, so I'm like, okay,
I can imagine.
Yeah, so because that's a priority.
I have a question for you about that.
Ooh, somebody has a question for me that's on the show. This is a first. Go ahead
if you don't mind, and feel free to give me a boilerplate answer, but do you get paid in royalties for that, or do you get paid up front? I've always been curious.
Oh, so the Oh, the reason the command wasn't working, everybody, I'll answer your question, Robyn, is that
Yeah,
the
it's okay.
bot was turned off, so it should be good now. So
Ooh.
with Cordovan, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. With the Smiteworks ones, those are commission based, and with exceptions, like the very first one I ever did, because I didn't know what I was doing in like 2017. I was actually paid a flat fee for, but that's because I didn't know. I just thought that's what it was, and I was like, oh, and the guy had a Kickstarter or whatever it was, I don't know, and I didn't really know Doug or John very well, and I was pretty new in the community, and I didn't know that it was a taboo thing to like do a Kickstarter thing. You know, they like to have those pre-planned. They don't like you to come and say, hey, this guy did a Kickstarter and now I want to convert it to Fantasy Grounds. Let's do it. And then, you know, they kind of are like, hey, that's not how it works.
Oh, really?
But yeah, we worked it all
Sorry, go
out.
ahead.
We worked it all out, and I was paid a flat fee for it. But that is atypical. That's the one and only time that ever happened. And so normally what you do is any of the stuff that you work on, and there's probably about 120 developers that in the community, and anything that you do, you're just paid a commission on it. And the commission amount is dependent on, is it a Paizo product? Is it a Wizards product? Is it a third-party product? The Paizo and the Wizard ones usually pay lower because, you know, they're corporate monsters and they want to keep all the money. But if you do one of those, you're obviously going to sell way more copies than you would if it was a Frog God Games or a Cobalt Press title or something like that, right? So
Yeah.
it is commission-based, and it is not a straight formula that is 100% accurate each time you do something. It's always different.
Okay. Is
But
the
yeah.
commission usually like a flat payment?
Yeah, all the developers from Smiteworks are paid quarterly, and you just, like, whatever they sell, they give you your commission, and they add it all up, and they send you a check 4 times a year.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not
I
like
think
DM's
it's really
Guild
cool.
where you earn money every day, and then you panic at some point and withdraw it all.
Yeah,
I'm only
I
speaking
still
for
haven't
myself.
withdrawn mine.
Well, yeah, like I left, yeah, and then the other thing is that you 60-day wait for DM's Guild, right? You can't take out anything.
Yeah.
You make all this money and you just look at it because you can't have it.
Mhm. Yeah, the problem for me is that I just turn around and spend it on the DM's Guild.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if
that's
you have
the thing.
that problem.
They will let you spend it right away if you want to
Yeah.
just buy other stuff. Yeah, you can use your account to buy things that second, but if you want to cash out, you have to wait 60 days. So, Lensman is asking a question about Smiteworks, as a matter of fact. Do they have a list of titles you can choose from, or they give you the title? No, actually, if you get on the development team, which is not difficult, but you have to be persistent to become one of these people. But then, yes, they do have a spreadsheet of titles that they have available to convert, and you can go in there. And I go in there every once in a while and look, but for me, I'm only 5e, right? So there's a lot of Pathfinder stuff. There's tons of Pathfinder stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I don't know what I'm doing with that, even though I've done like 15 Pathfinder titles. But yeah,
It's
so
just
if you're a
3.5.
developer, you can go and pick off the list and say, hey, I want to do this one, and they'll go, okay, here you go. But to become like Robyn, if you were interested in becoming a developer for Smiteworks, the way to do that is to just hang out in the forums and go. There's even a developers. I forget. Let's go look at that. But then you can email.
Oh God, the
you could-
forums.
Yeah, you could email. You could email Doug and say, I think I'm ready. I'd like to be considered, and you know he might.
No, I'm not.
He might ask you to show him a couple of your because if you've published on the DM's Guild, that's pretty much. I mean, it kind of demonstrates that you know what you're doing. So let's see.
No, I'm a prime believer in fake it until you make it.
But there is a
I'm
where
kidding.
is it? Leroon, do you know the? I know there's a. I forget because I haven't been in there in such a long time. But there is an actual, like, this is where we talk about developing stuff in here, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. I do know there's a section where people post things they're working on, and is it the
Cheer
second
bits.
corner?
Cheer bits in the
or
stream. Thanks for the cheer bits.
I thought it
Cheerbits. Spencer, thank you.
Developers Corner.
Developers Corner. Is that what it's called? Developers Corner? Thought it would be toward the top. Is it way down here? Yeah, Developer's Corner sounds right, although I don't see that here. Does anybody
Access denied.
the workshop access? Yeah, it's the reason it's not showing up is because I've been denied. Right? They took. No, that's house rules. Workshop is house rules. Boy, did they take it away? Yep, I can't seem to find it, everybody. I could have swore there was a section here. But in the Fantasy Grounds Discord itself, you can ask about it, and someone will know. Someone will point you to the right direction.
Lensman is yelling the workshop at you. It's
Yeah, he
underneath
keeps saying the
somehow.
workshop, the workshop. Let's go in there. Developer guide. Is this...
Hey,
Well,
there it is.
That's for rule sets and extensions. Well,
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about making extensions.
yeah. So this is, but there used to be. Maybe it's gone now because Fantasy Grounds there used to only be about a dozen people that did it. Now there's 130 or 140 people that do it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe they took that like little advertisement away that said, "Hey, if you'd like to develop, let us know." And I just that's not there anymore. So maybe I'm just crazy from 4 years ago. But I do know that the way is to just email them and say, "Hey, can I be considered?" And they get a lot of requests for that, but as long as you can demonstrate you know what you're doing. So I am not encouraging anyone that's just listening to do that unless you're ready to do it. I would think Robyn would be somebody who would be ready, but if you're just listening to us for the first time today and you know you've typed something in the chat in Fantasy Grounds as your one and only thing you've ever done, you're not ready to do it yet, so I wouldn't attempt it. But
you know, if you do email Doug or John, make sure that you say that Rob Tui sent you.
Yeah,
just so
by the way,
they know who to blame
right?
later.
If you want to make sure you don't get involved, then just include my name, and that'll make sure that they never talk to you again. No, I'm just kidding. They like me.
That big heading Rob Tui sent me.
Well, here before we continue, thank you, Fury. Before we continue, let's give away a prize. How about that? Now that the bot's working again. So Robyn is going to give away one of the things that she's made on the DM's Guild.
They can just pick.
They can pick. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me put that link in the chat again. So whoever wins can peruse these 13 items, and you can pick which one you want, and she will make sure that you get that. So let's put the raffle going here.
Can I answer Vex's question?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see Vex's question. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Vex says, most of your work is doing conversions, but do I have any products of my own that I'm working on? One of the first things I ever put up was this little thing called Shields of Wonder. It's just some like little magic shields, whatever. And I did convert that. It comes with a PDF and a Fantasy Grounds module all in the same like purchase, and it's pay what you want. So I put that up so that people could see like my work, I guess, before I started charging for stuff. That was the first one I ever did. And then lately I did some Tabaxi sub races because I love anthropomorphic races. I have more in the works that I'm doing, like lizard folk sub races and Aarakocra sub races and stuff like that.
Cool.
And then I'm in a couple of like collaboration projects that aren't out yet, but I am doing mechanical writing work for those. Can't really talk about them though.
Yeah, I got it. It's a secret. So guys, if you want to get in on the drawing, type in !Robyn. You got to spell it right with the Y in the chat. And ROBYN. That's right. I don't think capitalization matters. I think Furied Fate did not capitalize it, and she's on the list, so it's fine. Furied Fate, famous for not capitalizing. I don't know. That's not even true. I'm just making up shit. So we will draw at the end of when the timer runs out.
Ooh.
Svensson, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So
Svensson
Center.
friend.
Is that your friend? Cool.
Yeah, it's my friend.
Cool. Is that supposed to be CTR? Is that center? Am I just
Yeah, CTR. It's our old raid team.
Oh,
from
CTR.
World of Warcraft, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep, I played WoW.
Okay,
Wow.
I typed it with the typed it with the small letter and the big letter, and neither one is going on the thing that I can see.
Yeah, you're there. Lady Shell is there.
Where
I
am
see.
I?
You're
I
right
don't
here.
see me.
You're above my
Oh,
name.
I know why. Because see, I've got to pause the stream for enable to be on, to hear you guys without being all robot-y and stuff. So I can talk over in the right there, but I can't see anything because it's just like
Lady Shell's
original
internet. She
screen.
lives in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And on a raft, and so that's her internet. I'm just kidding. All right,
Maybe
let's
it's
draw.
me.
Let's draw. No, she
is
has.
my audio bad?
No,
No, your
yours
audio
is
is
fine.
fine. It's just
okay,
it's just
okay.
Lady Shell. She knows it. We
Aw.
She
all
knows
know
it.
it. And
All right.
one day we hope it gets fixed.
Yeah, she's gonna
Aw.
move, and then when she moves, she'll have like super odd. She'll have like internet she'll have a T1 line in her goes directly into her brain. I don't know. I just make shit up, and some of it doesn't land. Some of it's not funny, you guys. All right, here we go. The winner is. Oh, I almost started a new. I always do that. I almost wiped the whole thing out. Digital Profit. Nice. So Digital Profit. Just PM me in Discord, and she's gonna give away one more by the end of the show, guys. So don't go anywhere. So PM me in Discord, Digital Profit, and then I will make sure that she gets your information to give you the prize of your choice. And
Yeah, your choice.
Let me just write down here Digital Profit so I don't forget. Boom.
Win or not win, I'm probably gonna end up buying those Tabaxi sub races.
Aw.
Why? Because I like cats.
Yes! Aren't they the best? I
Cats
was
are
so
the
happy
best,
to
guys.
find out that 5th edition put Tabaxi in Volo's Guide to Monsters, because when I played D&D a long time ago, they were just monsters. They weren't like a playable race.
Yeah.
So made me
Unless
happy.
you had some crazy DM who's like, yeah, totally homebrew your
Yeah,
race or
totally.
whatever.
Yes, that was me way back in the day when I was making my brothers play with me, because that's what I did. I made them play with me.
Right? Because you were
Oh.
their sister and a girl, you would throw that
Yes.
fit and they'd be like, fine, whatever, just be whatever you want and shut up.
That's right. But
So
they
you're
had to
the
play it
older
my
sister
way.
then, I'm
No,
assuming.
I'm the baby. I have 3 older brothers.
Oh, and then
an
you made
older
them play with you.
half-brother.
Oh, yeah, you're tough.
Yes.
They had to, because if they didn't, she would go to mom, and then mom would be like, "Oh my God, boys, what the hell?"
Yeah, she's
She's
like, oh
yelling at
shit.
us.
She was totally in control of everything. Oh my God,
That's
you guys,
right.
she's gonna get pissed. Just sit down. Just sit down. Get your dice. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was really mean to my brothers, but I used to like kill them with like the dumbest stuff. The rocks fall, everyone dies type
Yeah.
stuff. That was me.
Oh man.
That's the best. That's the best.
Theory, do you
So,
have
Robyn,
brothers?
go ahead.
I do. I have 2 younger brothers, and I'm actually playing in a campaign with them right now.
Oh really?
We
Aw.
are playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Yeah, my youngest brother is DMing, and then the other brother is playing. And last night we were playing, and I almost choked to death because I was taking a sip of water. They said a joke, and of course, the water did not want to come out, or it wanted to go out, and I was trying to keep it in. It wasn't working out. So yeah, I almost died.
I saw your Twitter post about that, and I think you had one with your dice, like
All
stacked up.
stacked up. Yeah.
Why am I not seeing these Twitter posts? All I see is who likes frozen grapes.
Oh, I saw that too.
Maybe that was on Facebook. I can't keep track. I don't know.
I do
Yeah,
have all 3,
Facebook.
whatever.
Yeah, Facebook. Facebook is a necessary evil. I mean, I obviously have to use it for all the stuff we're doing and talking about tonight, but I'm one of these guys that if Facebook was never invented, I'd be fine with that. Also, if email wasn't a thing, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook.
Yeah, I'm far too accessible. I like it. I harken back to the old days where you would come home from wherever you were, your answering machine light would be flashing. You'd call that person back the next day to make plans for that weekend. Now it all happens. You didn't text me the last 3 seconds, fucker. I'm like, okay, just everybody, let's just calm down. Let's everybody relax.
I
Right.
miss getting handwritten letters.
Yeah,
I
that's
miss
not a
that.
thing
Or like a
anymore either.
postcard.
Yep.
I
No.
still send like probably because I have kids, but I still send like handwritten thank you notes when like we have a birthday party or whatever. We still do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm
old
also
school.
like not that young, and I'm not that old either. I'm like in the weird middle ground.
Are you
'cause I'm
going
in
to
my
tell us how old you
30s.
are now that you brought it up?
Yeah,
I'm in my 30s too.
I'm
We're
32.
probably about
32.
this. Okay, we're real close to the same age. I'm 34.
Oh, okay, yeah.
32.
So,
How
yeah,
dare
our
you? You're in your
experiences-
late 20s.
Our experiences
You're
are
very
We're
late
like-
20s.
We're older millennials, you know, so whatever.
Yeah.
Elder millennials, yeah.
Well,
I
as
love
it-
that stand-up
You know,
comedy,
because
by
then I
the
can
way.
say I'm an elder god, and then Cthulhu, and then bring all that good
Yes.
stuff in.
And I'm so happy to know you, Robyn, because as everyone who knows me knows, I have a great disdain and hatred for all millennials,
Right.
with exceptions, and you
Right.
happen to be one of those exceptions. So
Aw,
congratulations.
Some of
He
us are
says he-
really awesome.
He says he hates millennials, but yet he keeps collecting us, you know?
Yeah, that's
in
right.
his little group chats.
I don't mind millennials, but that's like my peer group. So there are some that are like, woo boy.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
basically anyone who's like 5 years younger than us, we're like, oh my god, I just really want to fucking punch you all the time.
Yes.
Like, just
And-
shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
For me too, like some of my brothers are Gen Xers because they're so much older than I think it's Gen X, right? They're right before me.
Gen X
they were-
is me, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Well, does it count like people born in the late 70s, early 80s?
Gen
Yeah,
X is 65 to 81.
Okay. Yeah, so then two of my brothers are Gen Xers. So I know a lot about like Gen X culture, if you will, or whatever. Like I listen to a lot of like Bon Jovi and Journey and stuff like that.
Right?
So I feel like they're also my kin, if that makes sense. I'm an old soul, if you will, or whatever you want to call that.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I met Steve Perry one time.
Oh my god.
I was just beside myself. I usually don't get starstruck because I was a comedian. I lived in LA and Hollywood and all that. But certain people that I revere, if I meet them, I'm going to freak out. So he comes in to where I was working one time and I'm dealing with him and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, Rob, you're so nice. Thanks so much." And he goes, "Hey, I would you like a copy of the 1981 Houston live CD?" And I'm like, yeah. I go, "Has anybody ever said no to that?" And so he goes, "Okay, I'll be right back." And he goes out to his car and he comes back and he's got this look on his face like like somebody shot him in the parking lot. And he comes up to me and he goes, "I'm so sorry." He goes, I promised to give you that and I'm out. I don't have any. He goes, "But I have this." And he hands me a CD, Steve Perry, like his solo album. And I said, "Oh, no, that's cool." And he goes, "The cool thing about this, though, is now you and I will both be the ones that have this." And I just could not stop laughing. I thought that was so cool of him to do that. And then to make a joke about how it just sucks or whatever, but I'm giving it to you anyway. But yeah, Journey's one of my favorite bands. And so it was
I love Journey. Like,
Yeah.
probably too much. My
don't know if-
kids get sick of it, so.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
3, yeah. That seems like the right number
And
for
they're
people.
very like far apart in age too. Like my oldest is 12, and then my middle he just turned 8, so there's 4.5 years between them, and then my youngest is 2. Whereas most people have them, you know, like 2 or 3 years apart. I did not.
Yeah.
For reasons, you know. I was in the army for, you know, a large portion of my oldest one being really little, stuff like that, you know. So there's great big gaps between my kids. So it's weird because like I have a kid who's in, you know, middle school and then I have a toddler who is at home all day. It's so weird. But it is what it is.
So do your older kids, do they play D&D with you or anything like
Yes.
that?
Yes, they do. So I run one game that has my husband, my mother-in-law, and my 2 oldest kids play in that. My 12-year-old plays a Dragonborn paladin, and my 8-year-old plays a Dragonborn druid. Don't judge
That's
him,
adorable.
anybody. He's 8. And that's a really fun game. We keep it kind of rules light. We very you know, go with the flow, and sometimes I let them do really crazy things
Yeah.
because they're
So
kids.
you play with your mother-in-law? Do you like let her get away with a lot of shit just because she's your mother-in-law, or do you kind of be extra hard on her because she is?
Well, I have a really
What
good
side of the
relationship
spectrum
with
do
her.
you fall on?
So we have a really good relationship, and she's really great. She's like awesome. I love her. And I'm not really hard on her per se, but I do, because she's new. This is the first time she's ever played D&D. I try to make sure that she learns like the proper way to play, I guess, because that's my mentality is if I'm going to be somebody's learning experience, and then someday they might like go play D&D elsewhere with other people or at like a convention, I'd rather they walk away from my table with like actual useful knowledge about how to play the game. So I try to, yeah, just be like, a fair and just arbiter, if you will.
Amen.
Oh my God, Kansas is so far for me to drive to be in your guys' game.
Well, I'm in Chicago now.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
live
right. You're
just
not in
outside of
Kansas. I
Chicago.
got confused. We were talking about earlier. You're in Chicago.
Right,
Still,
yeah.
still
I've
pretty
moved around a
far.
lot. Hashtag army life.
Yeah.
No, we live not right outside Chicago because that's a lie, but we live like an hour outside of Chicago, but people still consider this area to be like the greater Chicago area because Chicago's giant.
It's huge, yeah. I was
Yeah.
saying in the chat earlier today in Discord, I was saying that Lower Whacker Drive always makes me laugh. I don't know why. It's like a Blues Brothers thing. Well, good. So, hey, everybody, I put Robyn's link in the chat again, so you guys can click on that.
Thanks.
Be sure and check out her stuff, even if you didn't win, which, by the way, we'll give away one more thing here as we end the show. But be sure and support her and go and check out all of her stuff. And if there's any questions that you guys didn't get to ask her today, you can ask them right now. But if you think of something later, she's in our Discord, so you can come and ask her in there.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Ooh.
do it.
I was checking out your work and I saw Whimsical Adventures. So what's going on with that?
Oh, yeah. So that's actually a personal project that I'm working on. I really like running really whimsical games, probably because I run for my kids. And as we were talking about earlier, like the anthropomorphic races and all that stuff. So it's actually a two-part project. One will be a DM facing supplement with I don't know. I'm a little on the spot here. It'll have like adventure hooks, a first level adventure, some alternate rules or whatever for dungeon masters to sort of run more whimsical games, including like encounters for things like a forest made of mushrooms or whatever stuff like that, like really fairy tale esque type things. And then the second supplement will have player facing content, so my like my Aarakocra sub races, lizard folk sub races. I did my own take on bearkin, and dog folk or canids. I like to call them canids. And so that will be in the player facing supplement. Those won't be out for like quite some time because it's kind of a project I'm trying to head all on my own. Like I'm trying to do all the art myself, all the writing myself. I'll get an editor and that'll be probably it.
Great.
Now is that that's something that's not on DM's Guild now, right?
Correct. That's not. It's like
not.
It's been in the work for months, I would say, but I really kind of work on it like here and there and in between doing work for everybody else.
So, Liverun, how did you know about it?
I tweeted about it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I do some research before the show.
What? What kind of bullshit is this? Research.
Yeah, it's in the show notes. It's in the show notes.
Oh, is it in the show notes?
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the show notes for that one. He's got it right there.
Oh,
there
that's
you go.
so cool. Yeah, I tweet about it from time to time, so it lives on Twitter right now. It doesn't exist yet.
Oh yeah, give everybody your Twitter and everything that you want people to know for your social medias. You can type in the chat too if you want.
I will, because when I say it, it doesn't sound like how you type it, but I'll verbally spell it because it's at Remedeezy, Remedeezy. That's a mouthful. I'll type it in chat.
Remedeezy. I see what you did.
That's right. Because somebody took
Remedeez. Yeah.
on Twitter. Yeah. And I joined Twitter a very long time ago. So it's crazy that.
There we go. At Remedeezy.
Yeah.
So good. And anywhere else you want? I mean, I've given your DM's Guild link. Anything else you want to tell people about where to find you?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I used to stream, but I don't anymore. So don't follow my Twitch.
Oh, I'm interested in knowing why you don't stream anymore. Did you just decide you didn't like it, or?
It's a really complicated question to answer.
Oh, you don't have to.
Let me think about that
I
for a
didn't
second.
mean to put you on the spot. So if it's
No, I don't mind. It's just something that is it can be a little political, I guess, if you will, or I'm not sure the right word.
Don't I know it, sister?
If I answer that question.
Yeah, got it.
No.
I'm hip to what you're throwing down right now. I get it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, honk twice, ask for Guido. Yeah, I got
streaming
it.
is just really hard for somebody like me. That's what I'll leave it at.
All right. Well, you're always welcome here.
Oh, thank you. I love it here. You guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
also welcome in the college too. If you ever want to change your mind about teaching, you know where to find us.
For sure. I mean, so like I'm in the Discord and I see, I check it every now and then because I'm weird. But I guess for me sometimes it's hard to just like jump into new things. I'm really shockingly, I'm really a hesitant, risk averse kind of person.
That is
but
shocking. That is shocking to me.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody thinks I'm
you
so
have
like
3 kids
extroverted.
and you've been in the army, but yet you're like risk averse. I don't know.
I am. I think it's because I used to not be this way when I was younger. So I think it's just an age thing. I don't know. And I've been burned a few times, whatever, long story.
Haven't we all?
And yeah, so but I'll try to make a point of, being around the college more at least, helping people out where I can. I can definitely do that.
Yeah, no problem. We have the Ask the Experts area.
Yes.
So that might be a good place for you.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't really think I'm an expert, but
Well,
I'll give it my best.
It's generally where we try to help people, but wherever you can, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're gonna give away another thing, and I'm gonna make people learn your Twitter handle because that's how we're gonna do it.
With a Y. Yeah.
Her Twitter handle, which I hope I spelled right. Jesus Christ. Remedeez,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks right.
Then you will win. You'll have the opportunity to win another one of Robyn's creations here on the DM's Guild, which, by the way, I will put the link in there again.
Everybody's in chat like, damn it, this sucks.
R-E-M-E-R-E-O, fuck. Yeah. If they want the prize, they got to work for it. They got to learn how to read and spell. Well, I don't know that they have to learn how to read and spell, but they just have to be able to do it.
You have to unlearn because it's not even spelled right.
I think everybody is doing it. Yeah, there's many people. Copy and paste. Yeah, Boffrin's got it. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna copy it. So, once again, for those of you that might have shown up late, after we end the stream, we'll take a bit of a break, like just 5 minutes or so, and we'll reboot, and we'll come back and play Jackbox TV games. And everybody's welcome to participate in that because the games can have up to 10,000 players, so it's kind of crazy. So all of you who are watching, if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, you got to join us on Sunday nights. You got to win live prizes and do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we do, Lady Cell.
So before we go, Robyn, any final words? Anything you'd like to say to people? Anything you'd like to know about you that we haven't talked about?
Well, we were going to talk about how you and I kind of do things a little differently. But
oh my god, I can't even believe I forgot about that. Yes, no, and there's no time limit. We can do whatever we want. I'll go 12 hours. You don't know. So what she's talking about, everybody, is how I do stuff for the DM's Guild is if it's a conversion for someone, they give me the material and then I do the conversion and then I upload it on the DMs Guild, and I control it. I control all the updates. I control the price. I mean, the price it's a pretty standard way I do it. It's not like I'm surprising them or anything, but I basically do all the work for them. And then if there's the only thing that's a little rough is if an author wants to make a change or add something after the fact. The only way that I can get that done is if they provide me like a change log or an errata. But if they just send me a new version of the PDF, it's really tough because then you'd have to like read it line by line and decide where the changes are. There's really no way to do it. But yeah, so I maintain all that for them. They basically don't have to do anything. All they have to do is give me their PDF and collect the money. That's literally all they have to do. So now Robyn does it a little differently, and I'm interested to know. So tell them how you do it when you work with an author.
So, after we've agreed that I'll be doing their conversion, they still send me the PDF and, art if that's like a thing that's needed. And then I do the conversion and then I send them the module file back and they create the listing. They hold the power of pricing and bundling. That's on them. And then if there's updates, they have to reach out to me and I'll do the update and then resend them the module. So there's like extra steps and it does have its cons, as Rob was saying, but it also has some pros.
Yeah. Now, do you do you don't have to give me specifics. I'm not trying to back you into a corner here, but do you do you do a fee or do you do like I do? I do a commission or a percentage of the profits, or how do you work it?
Yeah, I do royalty share. I prefer royalty share. I did have one offer for like a flat payment, and it was because it was for a charity conversion that I actually didn't even end up doing, and I would have turned it down anyways.
Yeah, that's funny. I get that question a lot. Hold on, let me just tell Lensman to fuck off here just 1 second. I do get that question a lot. Can you do it for a flat fee? And my answer is always the same. I never give them a number, but I say, if you want me to do it for a flat fee, you're not going to want to do it because my price is going to be so fucking high that it's not. You're going to be like, what? You're insane. So I don't even want to go there with you. But if you want,
I don't prefer it either.
Right, and I prefer commission because it literally costs the person nothing. They don't have to give me any money, and then it's found money for both of us when someone buys it. Yeah, that's the way I prefer to do it.
And for me, I don't even know like what to charge. It's not like where you're doing writing or art where there's kind of like standard rates for that sort of stuff, 10 cents per word or $250.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to us. I know.
It's so hard to like price a conversion for a flat fee. I guess you would do like hourly, but even some things that look small sometimes take me lots of hours or whatever. So I don't know. Me, I would just rather 25% or whatever royalty share is good for me.
25%. Oh, you're killing me.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows to come to you now because my price is higher.
No. But so here's the thing. Here's the difference, though. You are so much more. You have like the rapport and I don't know how to say it, but like the experience. You're so much more experienced.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky in that regard in that I was first.
Yeah.
So my name is there because like people go, oh, Rob Tui, I know he does the thing. Yeah, that's the guy.
Exactly.
And I always tell like I go on Facebook and I tell people, I say there's other people out there doing it. So if you don't choose me, choose one of them. I say that to people all the time. And and my price is probably my percentage that I take from the authors is probably the highest of anybody. I don't think anybody's doing more than I am. But I also have I got the team of people working with me, and we attach my name to it. The Fantasy Grounds communities knows they're going to get a quality thing that's going to work and that's going to be exactly. So I got lucky that way just because of time, 4 years.
Yeah, if I was totally unable to do my own conversions, like I knew who you were long before I was ever doing conversions. So if I was making PDFs, you would have been the person that I would go to because you have that that, like, clout, if you will.
Well, let me
Whatever
just
you want to
say
call that.
I knew when I met you that you were really smart.
Thanks.
Oh my god. All right, so people in the chat have think that I forgot about the drawing, which I didn't. I'm just a marketer, you guys. I know
We're just chatting.
Yeah, we're chatting, and we're going to hold you here until the last possible minute, because as soon as I pull the trigger on the prize, half you fuckers are gone. So
don't leave.
Don't leave. So, and by the way, Furied will tell you, and Leroon too, will tell you that this show sometimes does devolve into just like a discussion for 90 minutes about nothing. So that happens. All right, let's pull the winner out of the bag. The winner of one of Robyn's items is Darth Vex. Boom. How dare you be a guest on the show last week and then win something? And I almost think he said in the chat in Discord earlier today that he wanted Fates of the Forgotten. Yes. All right, Vex, you got it. So
That's
there you go.
I got it too because I bought it.
Aww.
Nice.
Thanks,
So Vex
you
knows
guys.
what to do. Yeah, Fates of the Forgotten
You're
Realms too.
welcome.
So let me write his name on the thing just in case I need it later. Vex. Cool. Well, it was such a pleasure having you, Robyn, and feel free to reach out to me anytime.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Anytime you want to come back on the show, you're more than
Every
welcome.
week.
Every week. Well, listen, when I have a blank
Kidding.
space, I'm going to call you and be like, hey, I got a blank space.
I'll do it. I would.
Here's my favorite part. I get to turn this green now. Next week, everybody, we're going to have Ben Looms from Sirenscape, so don't miss that. You know what? Don't miss any week. I don't care who's on. Don't miss it.
Manicure too.
Maticuri will be with us as well because we're going to be talking about the sound links and the chat links for Sirenscape, and Maticuri is the one that basically put all that new version of it together. And Ben Looms, obviously, Sirenscape, he's been on the show before, so that should be good. Before we let Robyn go, do any of my illustrious colleagues and co-hosts have any final questions or words for her, or just in general?
I wanted to promote our event that we're having it's a stream on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about Vampire the Masquerade, the new module from Fantasy Grounds. We're going to have on Erlon, who is teaching classes to people on introduction and making your first character or vampire or whatever. I don't know how to play the game. Maybe I should take his class. But yeah, I wanted to grab the link and I didn't get the link. Hang on, I just am looking it up on my slow internet. Oh,
I'm glad you mentioned that because we are going to have, as we normally do when something comes out, we're going to have a walkthrough of Vampire the Masquerade. And it's not highlighted here because we're trying to get either one or both of the developers to come on the show, and they did. By the way, Leroon, they did respond to me, and they said that they would be happy to, but they might have to push it back. Although this is the earliest they would come on is April 5th. But so anyway, just to let everybody know, we're trying to get them on so that they can talk about it and walk us through it or whatever. But
I might have the White Wolf lady too. So.
Oh, okay, that'd be awesome. Oh my God.
Yep.
So all right, and lady, are you looking for a link to post in the chat, or did you do that?
It's in the chat.
It is, okay. All right, good. Well, thanks everybody for the show tonight. Robyn, thank you so much for coming, and we'll get your information for the prize winners to you, and have you back anytime.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. This was awesome.
I'm glad you were here. I don't like to play favorites, but you were a very good guest, and let's just say some people aren't. So that's all right. So hang out, everybody. Give us 5 minutes, and yeah, that's right, Darth Vex Quiplash. We'll be back with the games, and until I see you in 5 minutes, good gaming, everyone.